On 29th April 2023, I went to watch Evil Dead Rise, the horror movie with my college friends. And trust me when I'm saying this, the whole audience in the theatre were laughing. Yes, even on the jump scares. But it's not the case with every other horror movie. Like, some horror movies are so threatening, so thrilling that people die while watching the movie. While some are just like this, where people just laugh throughout the movie. But you know what, if you look into your friend circle, then you may find out that some of your friends extremely prefer watching the horror genre, horror films, horror content, while some just don't dare at all. What must be the reason? What's the psychology behind it? Let's see. The horror genre of the films begin with the film The House of the Devil in 1896 by the director George Méliès. And since then, it's been over a century, there's no halt for this genre of film. With an average of 1,000 movies released every year around the world, raising the bar, raising the expectations of public higher and higher, this genre has a very special place in the heart of cinema lovers. But again, why? Why some people prefer watching this genre of films and some just don't? First and foremost, the story. Yes, story is the most essential part of any film. And without a good story, it's really hard for a film to mark success, right? And for the genre like this, horror genre, story is an essential part. Because the story introduces us to the characters. It builds up all the narrative feelings, like feelings of anticipation, thrill, anger, excitement, unease, so many. We see how the character develops, like we see the character development along with the story. As we go through the narrative, the story makes us empathize with that characters, situations. We get to know about the environment of the story and then slowly start living those scenes, those movie scenes, those stages in the story as our own, as considering ourselves to be a part of that story. As a result of this, it makes us care about the characters, what happens to them, and then all the slowly revealing builds up, all the thrills, all the jump scares appears even more scarier just because we are invested into that story. So there are three reasons behind why people watch horror films. First is stimulation. Yes, the stimulation. Like the stimulation which horror films provide is on next level. Like the exposure to the terrifying scenes, jump scares, all the built up, and then boom. These things stimulates us both physically as well as mentally, which provides the adrenaline rush in the brain, which results in the heightened sensations and energy levels. It provides the most pleasurable experience in the most terrifying moments. Second is curiosity. To fulfill curiosity, people try out so many different things like jumping from the building, bungee jumping and all. Just like this, consuming horror content is one of the many ways to fulfill one's curiosity. Like the curiosity to live in an alternative reality, being chased by someone in the night, or to survive a zombie outbreak. All these things are practically not possible in real life. Hence, the only way to fulfill this curiosity is through watching the horror films. And hence, when one sits to watch the movie from the start, when one is deeply involved in the story, sees the character development, empathize with the protagonist, and live those scenes, that story, considering themselves as a part of it, fulfills their curiosity. That's why curiosity. And the third one is, of course, the experience. The experience of the 2-hour horror film, sitting all through the jump scares, scary, deadly scenes, seeing the river of blood gives a kick, gives an experience which is truly unforgettable. And then at the last, the end, which is usually satisfying, like positive conclusion of the experience. The feeling of emerging unscathed from the horror films gives a sense of accomplishment and mastery. And also the experience of fright, which triggers the release of certain hormones in the body, which also people wants to experience. So these are the reasons why people watch horror movies. But you know what? Not everyone prefers or enjoys watching horror movies. Yes, like if you look into your environment or friend circle, then you may also find out that some of your friends or family members just always love watching horror movies or always prefer watching horror movies, and some just don't. Well, it also depends on your personality. Yes. So if your personality is like that, which is always open to new experiences, always enjoys the novelty, then you might be more receptive towards the genre of horror films. Also, if your personality is like that, which is sensational seeking, so then in that case also you will be more inclined to watch horror movies. You will enjoy that adrenaline rush, fear, excitement that comes along with the film. And the third one is personal factors. So personal factors may also play a role in deciding whether one will prefer or enjoy watching horror movies or not. Because if anyone's like person's bringing up or childhood is like that, which had some personal experiences with this stuff, horror stuff in childhood, or have some childhood trauma with related to this stuff, then they may not prefer to watch horror movies or this horror content. Hence, these are the three factors which may play a role in deciding whether you will enjoy watching horror movies or not. Additionally, studies suggest that you have to have certain psychological protective frames in order to enjoy the horror movie to the fullest. Yes, first is the safety zone frame. So, having the understanding of the fact that the on-screen events are just fictional and can't harm you emotionally or physically while watching the movie is important. So, this provides a sense of safety, and then it allows you to enjoy all the scares, all the thrills without the feeling of genuinely threatened. Then second is detachment frame. Of course, like again, having the understanding of the fact that the on-screen events are just fictional and the ability to being able to detach yourself or detach your feelings from the events or the scenes unfolding on the screen is important. Then third is control frame. So it's like having the control over your emotions while watching the movie. Ability to handle the fear and violence presented on the screen without getting overwhelmed is important. So if these three frames, or if any of these three frames are missing, then it might reduce one's preference for the horror content. And that's the reason why some people just prefer to watch horror movies or enjoy horror movies a lot, and some just don't. But you know what? You don't need any psychological protective frames to watch subtle videos. So yes, so make sure you keep the subscription button pressed, because we'll be coming with such novel concepts every now and then. Make sure you tell your views in the comment section about the horror movies. Make sure you share this video with your friends who loves horror movies or hate horror movies or are just neutral like me. I'll see you next one. Bye.